What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So it is probably fairly obvious now that the excitement and the hype for Forza Horizon 6 is building more and more basically every single day, and I feel like with that some people might end up having some questions, and honestly guys, there is one I am asking, especially after playing Forza Horizon 5. I'm now playing through 4, I'm playing through 3, 2, and 1, kind of prepping myself, playing through every single game, and also jumping into 6 when it does end up releasing. But one thing I am wondering though is could Forza Horizon 6 finally have or even add a real story mode? Now, before you do say anything, I would probably guess right off the bat this is most likely on the side of, dude, what are you talking about, man? They're not going to do that. And honestly, I've been kind of thinking about this a bit, man. I wonder if they will follow Forza Horizon 5 and also like the design of 4 and stuff, which in this article I did end up finding, guys. It was posted last week. I would leave the link in the description for it. There are some interesting points in here I did also want to go through where it did end up talking about like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and stuff like that. And maybe how 6 might end up building upon something different or maybe having a real story-driven narrative to it. Something like you'd end up seeing in Forza Horizon 1, which obviously I haven't played it, but that game, from what everything I have said, including in this article, I'm looking forward to playing it. But that game is pretty much the most story-driven type in the entire series. Something like Need for Speed The Run or, Need for Speed in general, having an actual narrative, kind of like the original Crew game. You know what I'm saying? But this will read, Forza Horizon 1 on the Xbox 360 had the closest thing to an actual storyline. The game plays players in the Colorado Horizon Festival as a newcomer trying to rise through the ranks, win wristbands, and defeat top rivals. There were rival characters, hosted events, festival progression, and a clear journey from rookie to champion. Many fans still consider FH1 the most story-driven entry. Honestly, dude, I can't wait to play 1. Like, I've just heard a tremendous amount of things about that game. It's going to be amazing. But after that, we'll then move to Forza Horizon 2, which came out in 2014. Forza Horizon 2 moved to Southern Europe and kept the festival structure but made the story lighter. Instead of a rival personality, FH2 focused more on road trips, championship tours, and a sense of traveling across a connected map. It didn't introduce a character-driven narrative but built a theme of freedom and discovery. We will then move over to Forza Horizon 3, which came out in 2016, set in Australia, shifted the narrative concept again by making the player the festival boss instead of racing to earn wristbands. You were expanding the festival, opening sites, and earning fans. It had a management style theme, but still no detailed story or a character-driven cutscenes. After that, guys, Forza Horizon 4, which came out in 2018. This set in the UK almost fully removed any story mode. The seasonal system and shared world multiplayer took the spotlight. FH4 had Horizon stories, short, themed mini campaigns like being a stunt driver, taxi driver, a rally racer, but these were small side missions rather than a central narrative. And then finally, Forza Horizon 5, set in Mexico, expanded the concept of the Horizon stories and added expeditions, which were short introductions to new festival outposts. These missions featured light voice acting and simple objectives, but again not a structured narrative driven by characters, drama, or a plot. FH5 also introduced more personality through the hosts and radio voices, but it still did not offer a traditional story mode. So reading through that, guys, and kind of giving like a glimpse of every single game. Now, obviously, I've only played 5 and I'm going through 4. I'm planning on playing 3, 2, and 1. But my biggest question to you all, and also like the entire community in general, is what would you guys hopefully like to see in Forza Horizon 6? Would you prefer something like Forza Horizon 1 being a full-on story-driven narrative, maybe like, the Crew 1 for that matter, Need for Speed series and stuff like that? Or would you rather have like more of an open type of story, or maybe removing the story thing like they did kind of do in Forza Horizon 2 and then 3 and then, kind of got away from the entire story thing? Or maybe they can mix something into it to where maybe there's a story-driven side, but it's also kind of open. You know what I'm saying? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on that. I actually did end up seeing a lot of people saying that apparently they're not a big fan of story-driven games like that, or they don't have much to them, and maybe having like a mix of story but also like the open appeal of players being able to do different things in the game, or not, focus on a full streamline of those said missions. I don't know, dude. I feel like there's a way to mix it, but also like give player the sense of progression, like instead of getting everything handed to you in the beginning, have a sense of progression in there with the entire design of the festival and stuff like that. I really think that would actually be very cool. And speaking of that, though, there's a few more things in this article I also did want to read through that kind of ties into everything I have been saying with this part. Right here, guys, a likely approach for Forza Horizon 6 is a hybrid story model. Not a full story campaign, but more than simple introductions. This could include longer Horizon stories with branching missions, more cinematic expeditions, or a loose seasonal narrative that evolves over time. Forza Horizon 6 might also bring back rivals like Forza Horizon 1 did, which many players still request. This would allow more of an emotional or competitive arc without breaking the open world structure the series is known for. Honestly, dude, that sounds pretty dang good. Kind of like what I was saying before, maybe they can have some type of mix or like a hybrid type of thing in there to where you will end up feeling some type of story. I think that would be pretty dope. The other part though is another realistic expectation is a stronger world building approach. Rather than a storyline about characters, Forza Horizon 6 could build a narrative through the environment, festival culture, dynamic events, and community progression. This keeps the focus on exploration while adding a sense of direction. And you know what? I feel like, again, this is probably along the lines of maybe this might end up being the best way to do it, giving players like the overall sense that there is a direction you have to take, but you also have the sense of exploration there. I mean, honestly, I feel like there's a lot of different ways they can do this. Maybe introducing like a hybrid type of storyline to the game, having cinematics, having that stuff in there, but also having exploration and also having characters and stuff that kind of matter. I think that'd be pretty dope. And that's something I'm also thinking about a bit. Like when I was reading through this article, I'm going, okay, a hybrid story model, maybe not a full on story campaign, but it will not have just simple introductions. Then boom, you're thrown out there. Maybe they can have longer stories in there, branching into missions, more cinematic stuff that actually matters in different, expeditions and stuff like that. Or even as the article did end up mentioning, maybe like a loose narrative that evolves over time. I feel like there is a lot of different ways they could end up doing this. And I'm really interested to see how they do end up doing the overall narrative of Forza Horizon 6. Again, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. What would you guys like to see for Forza Horizon 6? Do you want a full-on story mode? Would you prefer like a hybrid system where it has like a not a full-on story mode, but there's like a story there where it's more exploration based, like there's other things in there, cinematics, different things like a narrative to follow, but not full-on like Forza Horizon 1? I am interested, man. I feel like there's a lot of different ways they can do this, and I can't wait to see what you guys say in the comments below.